My name is Andrea Weihrauch. I'm an assistant professor of consumer psychology, even though I just learned that I really want to be a cyborg anthropologist. And I'm going to talk on behalf of the project team Future Self. And I'm going to present the research part, and then I'm going to hand over to Hans, who's going to talk a little bit about our practical solution. So let me start with a pretty obvious statement. We all have financial goals that we kind of set to, reach certain future dreams. It might be a financial buffer for retirement. It could be a nice house. Well, we're in Munich, more realistically, maybe a one-bedroom apartment. It could also be a nice big car. And if you think about it, very often these financial goals that we set are somewhat linked to what we call in psychology life-changing events. So let's say you become parents, and that's why you want a bigger car, a bigger house, or like I said, you're going into retirement and you want to put some money aside to pay for some nice vacation. Well, life-changing events also happen when life doesn't go as smoothly. I mean, let's say, think about a job loss, a divorce. People need financial buffers for these. So in the Future Self team, what we are going to look at, or what we already started to look at, is we want to understand the relationship between financial behavior and these very important life-changing events. How do people prepare for them? How do people link, certain financial decisions to these life-changing events? And what we assume is that a lot of them probably start saving for these life-changing events a little bit too late in the game. So in the second stage of our research, what we want to try to find out is, can we use visualization to help them achieve financial goals that are linked to these life-changing events? And when I talk about visualization, we already know that it helps to just have people look at an older version of themselves. Okay, that's fair. It's a little funny too, but is it potentially more impactful to have them think about their future self in the context of a life-changing event, as a father, as a mother, in a situation where you lose a job, or the financial goals that are related to these events? If you think about visualization, well, the big question is, how do you visualize? There's different formats. You can do it by text, you can do it in a picture, or you can go all the fancy way up to augmented reality. Same for personalization. You can personalize or not personalize. Intuitively, you would probably say the more immersion, the better, the more personalization, the better. Well, that's probably true for imagining yourself as a mom or dad and a beautiful house. Not quite sure you would feel exactly the same way imagining yourself getting fired. So we are trying to find out, where's this ideal balance in visualization, life-changing events, and how does it help to make consumers be more financially responsible? And we're going to do this in the context of practical solution as well, to use it to test these different formats and personalization degrees, but ultimately hope that we can implement the research ideas into the practical solution. Hans?
Thank you. And yes, we have a lot of technology to make this to a practical solution. So we worked for what's doing today and what do we have to do tomorrow? And can we help you in this case? And today we made our Linda, and our Linda is maturing and she has some thoughts for the future, dreams for tomorrow. So we wanted to bring the current and the future self in one application, in one file. You have to take a look when you have a moment for reflection. Your life today and your wishes for tomorrow. Your preparement for tomorrow, how can you do that? So we created a tool and we created a deck about everyday's life and the life of the dreams you have. And connecting, in fact, your daily financial decisions with your future financial needs. You are thinking fast and slow, how you do it today and all the things you have to do to prepare for tomorrow. And we think that we can bring today in the future, and we can bring the future in today with all the technology we have, with all the data we have from the transactions you do, with all the financial planning tools we have at this moment. We can help people to give them an actual view to the future. So not based upon Excel slides, but more in a meaningful way. Building an app where you can visualize your goals. And building an app where you also can propose suggested actions. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't make this kind of mistakes. Show the impact of those daily decisions and visualize the progress to the future. And without confusing jargon or tools to say, okay, make it more visible to the people where they are in their journey to the future. And we would offer, in fact, those visual scenarios. What can I do if, what then? Dialogue-based advices. Can I talk to a chatbot, for example? Potential wildcards. What if this happens? How can I ensure myself against that? And feedback upon your daily data. So we made our Linda, we made our present Linda, and we created a kind of future calendar that you could fill in and say, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to go to? You can do the things you do today, the shopping. You can also say my future goals. And the link to tomorrow is, what do you want to do in the future? You can visualize it. You can bring in the picture of your dreamt house. And you also can say, how far am I to reach that goal? When do I have the money to make such a buy? How much do I have to save initially to buy this house? And you can play with it. At the moment you have some reflections. You wait for the bus, and we did a lot of street interviews. People said, I have sometimes 5 minutes. I have the spare time to take a look to what I want and where I am. And I think this kind of solutions can bring the tools to the people to say, okay, this is the suggestion I have. Is this credible to do? Is this way of life of me, is this bringing me closer or further away from my goals? So we built this deck, and we have really the idea that the whole team, that we now are ready to start building this real application, this real app, this real tool to support you in daily life. So we go forward. Thank you very much for what we have done and presented. Bye-bye.